Hi guys, welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer. And look what I got.
Beware! No one goes there!
Isn't that the coolest thing? I love it. Anyway, so today at the Magic Junk Drawer, we were discussing popularity. If you came to this channel looking for the most popular girl, you came to the wrong channel. I have never been popular. I don't think that people really disliked me. I just think that, I don't know, I was kind of here nor there. I don't know. But one of the first memories I have is being in kindergarten and I was small. I was always much smaller than the other kids, and I weighed less. So I remember like going on the teeter-totter, or the seesaw, whatever you call it, and one of the kids that weighed more than me would hold me up high. And I remember begging for them to let me down. And instead of like letting me down easy, they would just like get up and I would slam my butt on the floor. And it didn't just happen once, it happened a lot. Because I would always give these kids another chance because they promised me they weren't going to do it again. And I believed them. So that was when we were very young, like probably like 5, 6, young, early elementary school. I remember my best friend at the time, like we had our desks together and then other kids had their desks together. One time I came into school and she moved her desk, she was with other people and I was sitting alone. Nobody ever cared how bad they made me feel. I think that they put themselves first. So-and-so was cooler. They wanted to be with that person. They didn't care it was going to make me feel bad. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. But I didn't like the way it felt. And I didn't like treating other people like that. Like I didn't like when people bullied another kid or called them, you know, dirty or smelly or whatever. Like I didn't like that. I feel like we should be nice to each other. And I always tried to be nice to everyone. I don't think I was ever, if I was, I don't think I really meant to be bitchy to anyone. So I wasn't popular in elementary school. I mean, I had friends, but I don't feel like I was ever anybody's first choice. Like I could remember asking this friend, oh, you want to come home with me after school? And I wasn't really their first choice. If they had something better to do, they would take it. In junior high, I was at the bus stop and I was egged. And let me tell you something, if you get hit with an egg that is flying out of a bus, that shit hurts. Yeah, I was egged in high school. I never had any boyfriends, and if I did have a guy that seemed like he was interested in me, it was usually because he was trying to get to one of my friends. That happened a lot. And I always thought, oh no, this time it's going to be different. But I was wrong. It was the same. I got taken advantage of at work because I would do people favors and they would never repay the favor. Like, oh, can you cover for me because I want to do this on Saturday night? And I would do it, and then I would ask them for the favor. Nobody cared. And then they didn't even care. It wasn't even like they were sorry. They just didn't care. I had a lot of friends that, like, I had one good friend of mine that I hung out with all the time. But if another friend was in town or showed up, I had to go home. I don't know why I couldn't go with them, but I was not included. And I was so embarrassed, like, to even ask, why can't I come, that I would just rather go home and not even ask because I was just horrified. And these are just some instances. I can remember one of the most horrifying things was I had a really serious crush on this one kid. I don't know, we were like 15 or 16. I think we were 16. Well, I was going to be 16. And I didn't want to have a sweet 16 because I knew there would be drama. But my mother, she made me a surprise sweet 16. And when I got there, this guy was there. So I thought, oh my God, he's here because it's my birthday and this is like the best birthday ever. And if you watch the video, it's like so pathetic how like I actually think that he's there because it's my birthday. Come to find out a couple of weeks later that he was there because he was actually with my best friend, and they had this thing going on behind my back and nobody told me, and with the exception of two of my closest friends, everybody knew. So it was like a real, like really embarrassing. It was embarrassing because I liked him and he knew I liked him, and it was embarrassing because it was like, well, it kind of divided the group because like half of my friends were like, why didn't she just open her mouth and say, hey, listen, we're a thing? And then the other half of my friends were like, what a bitch. Like, how do you do that to somebody? And then, you know, people felt like, well, he did, and that's what I heard all the time. Well, he didn't like you anyway. Well, he didn't like you anyway. Yeah, I get that because that was always the case. Nobody ever liked me anyway. I know. So at the end of the day, what happened? We were 15, 16. Life moved on. She did not end up with him, if you needed me to tell you that. But it was really embarrassing. I don't know what made me more embarrassed. That I thought her and I were such good friends, that everyone kept saying, but he didn't like you anyway. Yeah, I know, because if it came down to me or Jabba the Hutt was getting the date because that's the way it was. I mean, obviously he didn't like me. Nobody ever does. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I think a lot of people can identify with this, where I think most people don't identify with being the most popular or being the, you know, the chosen one, so to speak. I mean, I didn't get chosen last for the kickball team. One unlucky team got stuck with me, and it was known that they weren't happy I was on their team. So if you feel like you kind of grew up like that, you're not alone. Most of us feel like that, especially those here at the Magic Junk Drawer. So you know what? Turn it into something positive. You know, take all those experiences, like maybe when you were getting egged at the bus stop, and learn how to not make that be the right thing to do. Maybe you'll stop the egger. That shit hurts. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And don't forget, if you like what we're doing here, like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode.